Today we go look inside some of the bad things them wey be happen inside January 6 and how government and salon people go do things them for make the country continue for experience peace and will not come back again now the country. And today inside the program we get Dr. Julius Spencer, we are first time Minister of Information under the Pakaba-led government, and also at that time na be minister when the rebel become na Freetown. And also we get the current Minister of Information we in a Chernor, we also there in the studio. As I mentioned earlier, for say January 6, 1999, the Civil War be officially come na Freetown, who said members in the Revolutionary United Front rebel become na the capital city, and according to report, then become who said cut food, rape, and also do some other things then we plenty people describe say not good for humanity. And for can look inside some of the impact of the January 6th, and also waiting government for do, and also our salon people for hope for ensure say they continue for maintain the peace. Make we get Dr. Julius Spencer, we na first time Minister of Information, and also Chernor, we na the current Minister of Information, and we dey expect also somebody from the Human Rights Commission we go come join with us now the program. Make I come over to you, Dr. Spencer. You at that time na be Minister of Information, but as a citizen, what na be your experience at that time when the rebellion come na the capital city, Freetown?
Well, I can't talk as an ordinary citizen at the time, because me not to be ordinary citizen. Me not be minister at the time, responsible for information. And really I've been sort of in the middle of waiting in the happen, because even from around January 4, it's been clear say the rebel go come inside Freetown, but them not begin come. January 5, I jump na my motorcar. I say I go see waiting to happen at Hastings, because them no attack the burn the checkpoint and so on. I drive go there, cross, pass through side, you go see na no man's land, you know, see nobody. Go na the Ecomog base, you know, see nobody. Eventually we meet Sunday the body, then I road. We see somebody they kind of limp. Now me drive and I been OSD at the time. See down in a rebel. Now it took speed, reverse, we come turn back calm. January 6, late night, 9 the rebel enter Freetown. Maybe in the Namios. But that thing they have been a monitor police frequency. I've been get handheld where they monitor waiting they happen on the police frequency. I hear then they talk, waiting and they describe waiting they happen. At some point realize say Kobe then don't take Pakaba, then don't go na ferry. The ferry barely left government work for the rebel over on the area there. So we've been here for try for see what you can do for stabilize the situation. Common Amuse go na radio 98 at the time in the up signal hill. Get them for turn on the radio, begin for broadcast. I call Ali Bango, I can meet me there later. We begin for broadcast, try for calm people them, get people them for dinner and host, because one of the major problems where come up when they get in a crowd. At the time it not been quite clear waiting in the gun, because waiting the rebel them they do then the people they already non capture and some way be non join them. Woman them with baby in a back and all kinds of things, and then they put before. As if then they run away from the rebel then. So the crowd just they come and then they before. So I come out being a problem for fire them. So now so then take enter. And at some point you begin hear gunfire from different side them. Even at Western we begin hear gunfire. Because apparently them don't infiltrate. Them in a different location in the city. So when the main force come, the other hand, even at Western I will be force here. I will be force rebel them in the day. Then say begin for attack. So for me, I left me wife and picking in the house or go up in the station, and the rebel them the can that in there the Oyo village. The rebel them the cow hill station now. I left instruction. I've been get some Ecomog guard them, 2 of them. I go each one. Tell you and say if the rebel in the Kenya let them jump na me motorcar, me picking me son me can drive. and then drive gonna over force by Canada then do.
Okay.
Then reach there then truck then a guard post. Later now find out then in a guard post. So anyway, bottom line, which I also want for say, yes, January 6-9 the rebel and reach Freetown. But as Corporal Farmer talk, the war don't start from 1991. All that period, this war they go on, people and they died and they do all kind of atrocities upline. But a lot of people in our Freetown not been particularly they take and seriously. But not been believed say they go reach Freetown. So when it happened, people them in a way be caught unawares, even Ecomog. Because at the time where the rebel enter Freetown, Ecomog will not reduce the soldier them in get Nasa alone.
Okay.
At the time Freetown now one company when about 200 soldier man they no more been in a Freetown for guard the city. So the rebel them in virtually for overrun. God help we get some loyal soldier them we been on join Ecomog and then all the rebel in a Congo Coast Bridge. Then able for cross the. Then they try for Kangaon Peninsula, same thing they all them by then God reach side. They're not able for enter. If they are in a Congo Coast not been old them for overrun the one old city.
So one go we want for ask you at that time you know be the current Minister of Information. When we not get the news for say the rebel don't come at the capital city, how it be talk for the government?
Well, I think say we get a lot of panic. In fact, from waiting I gather later, a number of the minister then one then go a friend way for go hide, or some man in the friend way for left the country itself. Because girl you can't blame them. The advantage we me been get, I've been on the with Ecomog for about 9 months before that January before I can be minister, etc. So me been get quite a bit of military experience. I don't do situation where gunfire and so on, so me not been afraid so. But other people then when I don't get that experience, they obviously been very terrifying. And if you imagine say you're a minister, you say rebel and they enter the city. If they catch you, can imagine waiting get go happen to you. So obviously a lot of panic been there. And then we then carry Pakaba go. Basically President not been there. For almost 48 hours, we not been no Cybercrime this safe. So we've been left to a few of we for try for marshal in them, even when we impose curfew. Now be I think with 4 or 5, me, Ali Bangura, Abdullah Mustafa, Sheikh Mansari, now we make the decision for impose curfew because Ecomog come meet we say, look, the crowd and too much na street, we need to get people off the street for go for operate. So impose curfew. I think that be midday we start the curfew. And then we begin shift time as Ecomog they take control. So the government been there in disarray. Money not been this safe. We not even get money for buy fuel for motorcade. Because we see the TAP in bank they all side lock. And contingency plan not been there for that kind of thing there. Now me been there for the go waka, go na petrol station, fend the owner, do a cowpin station, cancel, if I not trust them trust fuel to government vehicle them. We go pay later. For let government even Ecomog for let some of them vehicle and get fuel. Now that you been get for do. So we been get a lot of what you go call confusion during that period day. Until the situation stabilize, Pakaba come back. Well, and bring and come back.
Doc, the war been starts na Salon March 23, 1991, and then come na Freetown, the 6th January 1999. So waiting governments be they do at that time, the war be don't start na upline. Then when come Freetown now, waiting be they do first to say the war not take over, like I take over and the bad thing them will be happen inside January 6, 1991, happen na Freetown.
Well, the war go through 3 governments.
Okay.
First now being Momo, now under President Momo, the war start 1991. Then AFRC overthrow. No, NPRC overthrow Momo 1992. NPRC been there in control for until we get election 1996. During the period when NPRC been there in control, they even get for bring what you call a mercenary. For can help for the war. And the one they would then come, they may really create an impact and the rebel and come on a Chernor and all that kind of thing. When eventually signed the initial peace agreement with Pakaba, the first one we then sign, then Greece the mercenary then for go, all kinds of things for happen. But then obviously the rebel not keep to their own side for the Sanko and Co. Then continue for attack until and again because of the coup we happened 1997, the AFRC coup, where they overthrew Pakaba being for go Guinea. Now the AFRC been in charge, and then called the rebellion for can join them. The AFRC called the area for can join them. In fact, they make Fode Sanko deputy chairman of the government. Now at the time Fode Sanko been in fact in Nigeria. They may not arrest in Nigeria, but they still announced as the deputy. So you been get a lot of things that will happen where it's been difficult for really stabilize the situation. So and then ECOMOG can help for support the government. ECOMOG in fact been this alone when the coup happened. Then try for reverse them, they're not able. So AFRC continue for a while, and eventually the war begin for end when we get the Lome peace agreement, 99. After January 6, after that now ECOWAS sort of get more deeply involved, try for book a peace, sign the Lome peace agreement, and then Fode Sanko then designate him as chairman of mineral resources something with the status of a vice president. We not been fully understand what that mean.
People they say the war a senseless war, and according to you, the war be go through different stage then before him finally come na Freetown 1999. For people where they listen now, they're waiting at some of the causes them of this rebel war.
Anybody where they say a senseless war, no know what happen and how the war start. If you call it senseless in terms of some of the things that we the rebellion do, but the cause of the war, I can always say, all man will try read the TRC report, that chapter we then call antecedents to the war. The thing that will cause the war, then lay out very clearly corruption, injustice, and then lay blame on the judiciary and the police for the widespread injustice will be take place.
Okay.
Nepotism, all kinds of will be go on. All 1999 lead to the war.
Today we look at some of the bad things that will be happen inside January 6, and also how Salon people and government go work for ensure say the country experience war again. And we get Dr. Julius Spencer, when a first Minister of Information, Chernor current Minister of Information and Civic Education, and we don't join at the studio lawyer Victor Idris Lansana, we are the vice chair for the Human Rights Commission Salon. Chernor, you don't hear from Dr. Spencer, you don't explain your experience at that time and also how Timbi Talek na the country, and you from the insights we play, we don't hear it from the causes them. One talk about injustice, corruption, regional divide, nepotism, and others them. Within some of them things here, so now things that people feel say are the causes of the war, and then things here so still they happen.
Well, I think important for us just take a moment as well as a society on a day like this for remember the one that we've been lost their life, we've been sacrificed for that we be free and for that we get democracy, and for also honor the service and the sacrifice of people like Dr. Julius Spencer and be an ordinary citizen. Well, initially in 1997, and then he go and train and they with the soldier them. By the way, for give you information. Now the first, I believe, say in the history of Salon, now the first people in this, we get the concept of something don't go viral. Underground communication. Me, I remember say me eyes they open as a child, politically, when I've been listening to them. On 98.1 within the broadcast at the time, I believe, from Lungi. Every Sierra Leonean including where life been there at risk, na be requirements than the even them. For little people they open that radio within we host them, we listen to the golden voice of Dr. Spencer. At the time he been go by another name. I think I've been Joe Williams, if I remember correctly. And then we been get Abdullah Kim and Yebu Dumbuya. I think 3 Sierra Leoneans they were believe say that in sacrifice they will make for standouts, especially as Minister of Information. I want to really commend them and commend this station with a product of Dandy. We don't continue this concept of public engagement. The reason we make it important for Stats Day, now that most times people like for free, like say we not move it, we not change it. We don't come a long way from the days we've been there in 1999. I've been there Wellington Olwaf with the rebels and Camp that day. I remember very clearly what happened. I remember also I would sleep. I remember running out of my house. I remember joining them people and they till we reach Texaco. With firing happen. With people and drop dead next to me. I remember walking on top of cops. I remember sneaking into one good Samaritan in home. Okay. We opening the moats. We allow me and my mama for go inside. I hold my mama hand and I think say this will be the last moments of my life. So we being there, we privileged for survive the war. Understand the gruesome impact of that war, that fear and all that thing. But as a society, to your question, my brother, we did on a journey. I talked yesterday, say important for let no measure station. Let we think about what it's man called trajectory. Not who say you team up, but who say you they go towards. As a country, on information. Last year, MCC look at we, for example. In those days, we're not being had no access to information. And then say on the question of access, freedom of information, when they review we get over 93%. That's a significant progress we don't continue for make. I don't know for Sidon and I know me brother then we'll talk about the multiple challenges that which make some of me in this job where they, even when you disagree with me, even when I don't sleep, even when people in the pull out statements condemning, disclaiming, all those things. But I believe say the public get a right to information and at the effect for that information they let them get on there. Because I remember say that is the essence of democracy and that we for continue for open that space and get that debate. And we don't change this country. Okay. Now we get people in the can together. So yes, we get problems with corruption, but when President Bill kind of power, MCC been the score in the 40% on the concept of control of corruption. Today, consistently, we don't make over 70% on each and every one of this independent score. So on that, we not reach 108. President Bill vision is for we get to 100, but we did in the right trajectory. You talk about things like national, you talk about justice. This Criminal Procedure Act with a non-just pass. You look at thing the way I remember Justice Mark they talk about this the other day. This is something we don't work on for years about how we need to change the old archaic laws. Even on the safe motherhood, by the way, talking of old archaic laws. The law we they now from 1861, 163 years old law, we say elect the mama they die, who for force and for keep the belly. These are part of the reforms that we President Bill don't look at, sometimes controversial but bold leadership, as he say, and say, for move this country forward, we for do the right things. Jury, take gender equality and women's empowerment, 30% of elective and appointive position, it double and triple percentages of women both in cabinet and in parliament. These are significant steps in the right direction. We don't reach there. Oh, you bet we not reach it. Now make President Bill sleep. Now make in cabinet. Now make it put pressure. Now make we get performance contract. Now make we need for get and continue conversation here. Now make 98.1 need for day. Now make we need for strengthen journalists then right for criticize we, for talk, but we also need for fight for the truth. Because at the end of the day, if you create a society where opinion, no just people enjoy the can no more and come after you and destroy you and talk lie, they're not a fact-based society, not a society that way they keep peace, not a society that justice. So we need to find that fine balance there.
Mr. Minister, as my colleague asked you, they talk about injustice, corruption and all that thing because the war and the thing they don't talk say this current government don't do. You think say as a nation we don't move come out from some of the things them will be cause the war as we the presently?
I believe and I know say a lot of people and they will get different views on this, but we assess the fact as a society, and this is not just one government. This is not APC, SLPP. As a society, we don't make big progress. We don't make some major moves them away from Musa Ubinde during the war. But beaucoup of the effect, the thing that will lead to the war, then still there. We get a young population. 70% of the population of this country, they I think below 40 years for sure, right? Many of them still not get job. Many of them still they struggle there for things like that. But on them, for example, on the question of democracy and access to power, we not be one party state before you get up to the war. We move from there. We are now a functional democracy. We get the opposition at parliament. No journalist not in this country where they right now at jail for what he say, not one. You know, we get a civil society space that is open. People and they able for criticize the government. The world don't open. All man get access to information on the phone and they move around. I don't mention corruption. There's a greater awareness of the issue of corruption by the people of this country and they seek for justice. Every year now we all discuss the Auditor General reports because we all are citizens. They go there. We are citizens. We active. We engage. We get people and now we're not even in a studio. We're not journalists there with IDs, but are bloggers. Incredibly powerful. Then no more can decide today what we all discuss about. It don't put journalism in the hands of ordinary citizens. All of them things in there now steps them, as I say, in the right direction. It tell we say the discussion that we get. You take the tripartite. Now part of, you know, I like for quoting my old boss. I used to get the privilege for work for the former British Prime Minister Gordon Brown. I've been in staff, and he like for say, he said the thing about democracy, it's the first 100 years. Democracy is a long, slow, painful, sometimes process. You know, it solve democracy. You know, they create democratic culture overnight. But even the last election, the discussions they will get, and then the tripartite, and then the recommendations they will get, that are part of a maturation of a democracy. Because in the past, maybe if we don't devolve into all-out conflict, if we don't jump in the streets, there are some people, some ambassadors, and that thing are not can government it why we this talk to. Them be believe, them be confident, say after that election, no matter the outcome, facts they come out of this country. I've been telling say no, we not live here. We will be there. We know say the people of Salona want violence. That's a sign of progress. The opposition even walking away is a sign of progress. Say before we go fight for and then disavow. So that the president in leadership calling for peace, setting up that process day, that's a sign of progress. So I know say some people just want to focus on the thing the way they go bad, and I agree say but thing in the way will not get right yet. But Nadande will they continue for focus on. But the country as a whole, as a people, we don't look at peace, we say that this we value. We look at violence. People in the way they out of this country traded and they call we for violence, traded and they manipulate some people. Now check the past 2 years. They don't call say nobody no step in the street. You know why? The people of Salon say we won't forget a conversation and disagree, but we know they choose violence anymore. So
in relation to that, people go and say what thing governments don't do for say unable for engage young people, more especially the one they were born inside 2000 for telling say because people go say them people and they get mind past some of the things they do in the rebel one and then people and they do. So what una don't do for say unable for go back now the drawing board and tell them say if we do this and this now go lead to war and this because the war will be
in fact, you know, I think this now one of the most important questions them. Yesterday I've been there with the chief minister. We did discuss the lessons from the war. And one of the things that we'll talk about, you know, we brought out Joseph Kaifala with the Monuments and Relics Commission. Don't they always ask? And the TRC be recommend say make January 18. So the TRC say not choose the day of the darkest day of the war, but Lord choose the day we will get peace. We pack about declare say the war done as the day of remembrance. So we'll remember say we not forget the back. The government of Salon, President Bio and government, they work towards making that happen. So we'll get that particular day. But beyond that, President Bio now first come and set up a council for civic education. And then I don't set up a whole ministry for civic education. And just at the end of last year, as you know, we launched the first civic education strategy. Now we get a strategy backed up by UNESCO and other partners where they look at comprehensively how they engage the citizens of this country for think about the history of this country. not just from the period of war, but even before the war, even before colonialism. And this year, I go assure you, say, we dey prioritize public education on the history of this country, on the things that will lead to war, on the things that we don't divide we, on the ways that we then can't try for slice and dice way apart, and what we need for do as a citizenry for commit to love Salone. Now one of the number one pillar of the civic strategy say, let we elect this country and for let elect the country for sabi the country. You for understand the country, you for treasure the country. You know where you go now other country, they when they sing the national anthem or then do them pledge, you go see citizens in hold their hand and cry because they remember waiting other people and do for good in this country. Part of the challenge where we get to your point, now that we don't share that history there to we young generation. And I go show you, say President Bio, the reason we create a ministry for civic education, now because now somebody we committed for do this, and you go see and hear more and more as we continue for do this across the country.
Today we look at some of the bad things that will happen inside January 6th, and we don't talk to Dr. Spencer, Julius Spencer, when I first Minister of Information, Chernor, when I the current Minister of Information and Civic Education, and we come over to the other studio guest, when Victor Lansana, when the Chairman for the Human Rights Commission, Vice Chairman for the Human Rights Commission of Salone. Victor, you don't hear from Dr. Spencer, and from the insights we don't play, people don't talk about the causes. And some of them causes also get for do with human rights violation, get for do with injustice, get for do with nepotism, regionalism, and the Human Rights Commission be born out of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission reports, where we set up the Human Rights Commission for looking into the causes them of the 11-year civil war. But people still get this thought that then things just will cause the war still they happen, and the Human Rights Commission now one of our responsibility now for looking to human rights issues in the country.
Well, thank you very much, 98.1, for giving the opportunity as a commission for talk to people because the more we talk to people the more we engage them, the more we believe say they will be enlightened, they will know about the human rights, and they will also know about their responsibilities. I want to use the opportunity on behalf of the commission for congratulate Dr. Spencer and colleagues them will be actually put out their lives them, for we gain peace, because the information we give out, like we cannot be say, I mean, then they would even listen to radio under obey them. I still remember, I get a vivid memory of that. So it tells you that these were men and women we sacrifice, their life and their families, and for make sure say we get we get stability. And I also, on behalf of the Commission, I want to use the opportunity for express with profound sympathy to the big families of January 6th. That will be very horrendous moments. I mean, it's a tragedy where I never seen in my life, because I witnessed this live, You talk about, going back to your question, you talk about the causes of the war are still prevalent. They are still there. They are there, but they are not as they were before. We've come a long way as a country. Mark you, we don't hold about, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elections from 1996 to date. We don't transfer power from one political party to the other. In 2007, we get Dr. Ernest Baikoma, we take over the SPP government over Pakaba. In 2018, we get President Mandabio, we take over the APC government of EBK. In other countries, if you look at other countries, transition has been a very, very critical moment, which don't cause even instability in some other countries. So Sierra Leone today, with all the challenges we agree we face as a country, it's not the same Sierra Leone 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It is not. I mean, say what you may, the progress I concede is slow, but we are making progress.
Okay.
We are making, I mean, I'll learn on this. We're making progress. There are some areas that we still remain challenging. And this is the area where, for we as a commission, we get so much interest and passion about. we look at the economic rights them. We now the rights them we actually they make Motamange dignity. We are still challenged as a country. So for instance, if you look at the right to water, the right to health, the right to work, these are serious challenges we still face. The minister talked about 70% of the population now youth them, now young people them, so to speak. And many of them are still jobless. That should be a concern. And it should be a concern for government, but not just for government, for every Sierra Leonean. It should be a concern even for those who are in opposition parties. Because when a government, when a country is stable, when a country able to provide jobs for its people, then there's stability and then there's growth. So for we, I'm over 40 years now. The same way I be the taught water, I'm 8. Why be the Wabas Academy for book me uniform? It is the same thing today. Usa Komot na Kisi, I see where young people still they undergo. We don't get some progress, but the progress very slow in those economic rights. Then
Victor,
I'll conclude on this. We still get challenged in addition to all of this. I don't say in electricity, but then I want for this opportunity for at least from all of the discussions what we get over the holidays to say thank you to EDSA. At least they do some work. I see some stability in the provision of electricity, but we still have a long way to go. But today also, we don't see the right to education. We actually now they make Motaman. You're able to take care of yourself. You're able to feed your family. You're able to get respect in the community and within your family. Government don't do very well in making sure that they provide the right to education. There are several challenges around that, but the fact that today young people, parents them, able to take them picking from nursery 1 to the end of high school, Victor, without paying. It's very important.
You mentioned earlier, say progress don't be made so far, but one goes say looking at the access to justice, that's still a challenge. Looking around at the human rights violations, them where they occur, and other things them where they happen, one go be intend for acts. Waiting at them progress here, so we don't be made. We face with some of the things them we cause the war.
Yeah, so as a premise to that question, there is no society that is perfect. Whether you go to Sri Lanka, whether you go to America or UK, all of them, they have their own challenges. So there is no society where you get a perfect system. The issue about the right to justice, I heard Dr. Spencer say, indeed, the TRC blame the judiciary and police, for injustice. That is correct. It's very clear in the TRC report, and we all saw it. But I will tell you also that today, what we have as a country, it's not the same we had 30 years ago. Access to justice still remains a challenge. However, as a commission, doing monitoring across the country, in police cells, correctional centers, in the courtrooms, we've seen that there is progress, there is marked progress. So today, for instance, you have more judges, you have more magistrates across the country, you have more courts. I'm sure every district in this country now has a magistrate court. That creates access to justice. So that, if people feel aggrieved, allow them for saying. Create a platform where people will feel free for go, when they get grievances, for go to and get redress mechanism. So that is why the courts have been expanded. The judiciary don't try to expand the courts across the country. And we as a commission, we have been monitoring. Yes, we also acknowledge the fact that there are magistrates and courts across the country. There are more judges, more magistrates, and the judiciary don't expand, don't take the services to the doorsteps of Sierra Leoneans. However, we still get an issue with the actual dispensation of justice. What does that mean? That Yes, people get access, which we applaud the judiciary. They get access to justice. They get access to the courtrooms. But if, when they get that access, their cases will be clogged up for a long time before they are determined, before the courts decide. Then the access to justice still becomes, a challenge. So, that is the reason why they say it's a mixed bag. We still have challenges, but then we also need for, always tap ourselves on the back as a country that we have made marked progress.
Victor, let me come back to you as they talk about access to justice and all. But plenty people go tell you, say, access to justice don't be one big challenge because they can go, if they get case, they go to the judiciary, they know how it can turn like. The owner and the Human Rights Commission, in any way, we don't engage government or some of the findings them, we don't they do, more especially when it comes to access to justice in the country.
This is what we do on a regular basis. We do monitoring of the courts, and when we get adverse findings, then we engage the Chief Justice for discuss the issues that with them, and then find solution. We don't need several interventions, in the courts around people, and the human rights, we are at risk. I'll give a classical example. We have done several, but because this one is somebody a lot of people know. For instance, Kamarimba, when when they go to court, go through the processes, and then his bail was withheld, and he was convicted or so. We, as the commission, having visited him on several occasions, we saw that in health was a serious challenge. We engaged the Chief Justice. In fact, we wrote, apart from merely engaging, we documented. We wrote to the Chief Justice saying that what we have seen, yes, the court don't grant bail, but the bail conditions were too difficult, almost impracticable for make able for go by them. So we wrote and said you have to consider on the human rights perspective that the health condition of this guy will deteriorate, and further to that we also say that the prison officers, the prison authorities, they themselves came out to say the condition of this man has become unbearable to the extent that they're not able to provide medical services for him anymore. So we quoted all of those instances to say you have to give this man an opportunity for seek alternative medical care so that he will go and take care of himself when he feels better, because a man could only be given the opportunity for defend himself or for face the justice, as the case may be, when he fit and proper, when he need the right frame of mind. So based on that, based on the several pressures, we put on the judiciary, and of course I don't say with other, lawyers and other people, we now, he was given the opportunity for making go seek medical care. Okay. So these are things we do on a daily basis. But before when we go for the break, I do want to conclude on this issue of how do we go? We have seen, we all acknowledge the fact that there are challenges. Progress is being made, but then the progress may be slow. How do we accelerate the progress? Now, as a commission, we are calling on government for fast track the constitutional review process, which has taken for a very long period of time, 30 years or more now, since we began to review this constitution. One of the reasons why we need for fast track this review is that when you look at the makeup of the constitution, we are able to call winner takes all.
Okay, Victor, we'll come back to you. Okay. You can't tell waiting the commission they recommend to government as we go further. Now we come over to Dr. Spencer. As Victor don't talk about some of the progress they don't make, and according to you, maybe they talk first. One part the thing then way because they want injustice, people know they get access to the justice system, and the TRC been blame the judiciary. So you now somebody who be don't work those days under as Minister of Information. Then now access to justice. How you able for it now?
Well, not only access to justice, as Stalansana say, now the dispensation of justice. Because forget access now one thing, for let them dispense justice fairly now other matter. 1993, I've been there Pademba Road Prison. I meet young man then we swear say we see them come on. Then they go join the rebel them. Why? Because them believe say they were treated unjustly. Then you get man the way then go arrest na treat until you come watch film, then get an account treat corner they keep comping police can they arrest them for loitering. At the time the maximum sentence for loitering have been 1 month imprisonment. So until the man only 3 months in a prison, anytime he go court he say he not guilty, they remand them back. Past one day now somebody go tell and say party next day you go court just plead guilty. Where you go plead guilty then sentence and to 1 month. But don't do 3 months, so then free him. So you get all them kind of thing and they been happen. Now, yes, the minister say they don't pass this new act. Well, hopefully go deal with some of the issues then they. You get magistrate and judge then they remand people in custody for minor thing them. You get people they're not able for get justice. Well, thing then don't change, yes. Then they are two. The time where me na be minister will not be get legal aid board, for example. So if you not get money for hire a lawyer and in that pass you go defend yourself. Now get legal aid board, at least where they try they defend people and we're not able for defend themselves. We get Bokutin and don't change. But still, the problem we'll get in a salon now, not to just waiting government they do or not they do. People them, individuals, either within government or outside of government, will get some level of power. That then they misuse that power day. So the injustice, not to from government level per se now so much, as individual them, we believe say they get power, then they use them for oppress other people then. You know, the war, the tell the war starts. Freedom of expression not been there. You go in a motor car, taxi, and they go on side, and they keep talk, but whatever they criticize. Past you see one person say, now they near CID say entire, go inside under. Now informant. You go say this man been they criticize government, they arrest you, charge you for waiting. Careless talk. You been get all them kind of thing and they happen. Now you know they happen again. The criminal libel law and don't repeal them. The death penalty, they don't repeal them. Yes, so progress don't make. But still, as I say, something then they happen where they continue the injustice. Not to so much as I say, not to so much government as government, but individually. Either they in a government or they get some power, or people that are outside of government where they oppress other people. Then. So then at one level, what we need to address. The Human Rights Commission, they try, but as I say, Bokutin and they will still need for be done. Yes, as the minister said, we don't make major progress. Boku side them, but thing and they will still need for pay attention to. And I think the government need for perhaps pay more attention to waiting some individual them, both inside government and outside government they do, where they oppress other people them.
Okay, continue for the between of the program. In name that Dr. Julius Spencer, we're now first Minister of Information. Will they come over to the Minister of Information and Civic Education, Chernor? You don't listen to Dr. Spencer and also Victor from the Human Rights Commission. One key area get for do with access to justice, and also apart from access to justice, freedom of speech. Now also many people they consider as major challenge. You talk of the reforms that the government don't they make, but still some of the areas also still they face with challenge.
On freedom of speech, it's important for the family and also the TRC reports mention some of the draconian laws then like the criminal libel law women in the country. That law they been say again, that law in a part of the law they were referred to from like the one we deal with right now in this abortion conversation. A part of the archaic law then they with the TRC reports be particularly asked for revise. Successive presidents them promise for end the criminal libel law. Pakabawe Olman know as a UN person, great leader, respected leader in Odwam. And Eskroma talked publicly many times that Ingo puts an end to criminal libel. He didn't do it. One person, His Excellency President Julius Madabio, he not just talk, he get the courage and the leadership at the time for Duam. He decriminalize libel na saloon. Very important for let people to know that. I make again this conversation when they get about abortion, it's about decriminalizing and then move forward and think about how do you regulate going forward. So when you talk about freedom of speech, this country is an open country. All man now are journalists, as I say. Everybody did not vote. Look, yesterday people like all kind cost me first. So like the facts they show you, they put the video, you see the facts they. But people can attack. People and they attack the president. People and they blast them all over now this country. We all now then people know they meet up back, we sit down, we talk. We play and laugh. Because that's not part of the progress we don't make. On justice, the new Attorney General and Minister of Justice. I mean, I think my brother VI go appreciate this because the AG come off from a human rights background. I've all been the human rights clinic in Afrabe College. This man don't work for global, international institutions them on human rights issues. And when they make an AG, he talk about how in vision for justice. He say, justice, you get for be tailor-made. He talk about how it for be customized, not to one size fits all. So we think about what people they need now. Bo is different from what people they need now. Bond Island. Also, me papa come out. So the vision we get, we President Bio gets, and we in the camp for can implement. Now for make sure say the challenges that we did. One of the things that we, by the way, some people they know they talk about in the past. Dr. Spencer talk say go na prison and he meet young people and then say we should come out to go na war. Now, inside this government, we get one of the public leader there. We don't make him as part of in campaign for say if anybody dey na prison for fine for money, he say he go pay for the person in some places them for let them pull them. Yes, we need for reform for make sure say we not keep people in a prison unnecessarily, but also not in a signal. President Bio, me don't dey multiple times we don't talk especially about them petty crime there. Remember loitering, things like that. This government as part of the reforms there, ready and willing and don't take the steps for get rid of them crime they use today for when they not like you in a purpose you the pass number. Then all you know more then go lock you then say loitering. Me now when I been college students, once in a whole win a beach. The police say loitering. I say me also in a beach where I didn't go they go na beach. You not like when you talk to a normal certain way. They all you. He say loitering. Because loitering that been just a broad offense. Again, it no mean say at the Sidonaya and talk say the problem then a salon don't done. If the problem then be not done, we know it deny yourself. No need no day for the government day. We get plenty problem. But me come off from a tradition we say if you don't make small progress, you acknowledge that. Not like you picking. We born. We wale waka. We take the first step, you dey applaud them. Where you applaud them, then you get the confidence for let's take the next step. Right. And as a society, one of the problems there as well will lead to the war. I mean, mass illiteracy. What we grow up, we talk about Salone, be equal to an illiterate society. One president come, he decides say, by the way, plenty of people the way they talk so today, been say it's not possible to do free education as alone. So we not get the money.
Okay.
But President Bio, he do that, and they like today we are recognized as a global champion.
Okay.
For investment in education.
Continue for the with me the program in name na Chernor, Minister of Information and Civic Education. The program na Good Morning Salon and we they look at another issue inside the program. As Radio Democracy they look inside some of the things then we cause the war and waiting for do so that one no go come back again at the country make we reporter Usman Kamara be talk to the outreach focal person for the residual court, special court na Salon Patrick Fatoma. Also a call on government for give more sabi to the public, but the bad thing then will be happen January 6, 1999, so that then thing ya not go happen again. It talk more to Usman Kamara inside this interview.
January 6 na been the day where some kind big wala been as free tongue. When at the day where the Ecomog soldiers and the Sierra Leone loyal soldiers then try for push the AFRC and RUF Fetsman that will be come back for can't take power after they don't pull them 1998. So then come back na free tongue for can't take the power. Then start from Eastern, then take civilian, then boku one. Face then come, take inside the tongue, take can reach na State House. So then go na State House, talk say then don't take power now. So when Ecomog begin for fight back against them, where the civilian they don't melt, then all man don't go away after they don't get that shield. Where Ecomog begin fight them, for let them pull out, then cause big problem. Police station, the headquarters, then go burn them, hospital, then kill boku people, then in that street, they pile them body high one, then burn us then at Kisi Road, then burn us the all side na the eastern part. Where they reach na Upgun Turntable. Now in General 5-5, when a Santigi Bobokano, when a convict rights now under the special court of the serving sentence na Rwanda, now it tell in boss in picking them bobo them. They say them gonna WFP for go take the cutlass them and they ask them for come with them. Then go take them cutlass and they then come with them. This night January 6 now, then take the cutlass and then come with them. Now it tell them, say, this I want to do. So then civilian and then to line them for go also. So that gun waiting up gun, so I've been they done about 45-degree angle. The first man waiting at the line I call and they come there. Then the man say wait, he said at the quarter. Then the man say no. Then I pull pistol, he fire on my head. Then the second one I call and the back don't afraid for die. He lay hand, he cut him. He call the next one, he lay hand, he cut him. Now I take the cutlass, he shape and give the small boy soldiers and them over there with them abduct, so then they can go. He say na so una for do not waste una cartridge again pan civilian. He say any civilian una get, una cut in hand or una cut in foot. He say because they not like we, na tijam kaba in government, they like.
Okay. So what are some of the key things that will make them people here decide for do what you just explained so?
Fet been in Liberia. Some of the soldier man they will then go fet day, then come back saloon. They're not satisfied with the way they say government they handle the feds now. Now so they say.
Okay. Now one thing we been clear during January 6, now the issue of woman and picking them. What thing really happened to them?
During the war, woman and picking and them have been at the target. This not just January 6, that one day no more than they been built. Throughout the war, have been in targets. Woman and they rape them. Then they hold and then turn them to the left by force. Then they're gonna then school them, and then Kailan area force. Then Jalwan secondary school, then Shewema. Then they hold the girl picking and then turn them to the left by force. Or the ordinary girl picking them within a tongue, then the older woman then have been target being for them. Because they're in that bush, they not get wife, they not get girlfriend, then they just old woman by force for their tongue to them wife.
The program that Good Morning Salon they come to you from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM. Now time for a look at some of the messages then where people understand inside the program, and this very first one where I take from the Facebook page say, Mr. Victor, you seem to be panicked. You are just in prison for this regime. Do comment on the Auditor General sacking.
From Super Caps, they say we are praying for the past war in Sierra Leone. They say during the war, plenty things happen. They say Abidena Kisi during the same day, as you say rebel and be caught somebody in hand, and the next person for them caught in hand. Nami and make we pray let them kind see not happen again at the country.
This one from Horatio Max Govis say, in all of this, let's remember the late Lansana Sheriff Steady Bongo and the role he played in reaching out to the rebels when it was virtually or impossibility. May his soul rest in peace.
And this one they say, Dr. Spencer, waiting that you take as the minister say freedom of expression and information day now, because we don't they suicide on the old people they will say they allege say they talk them against the president and the first lady. Now so it been sound like during the time we been minister.
This one from Mark 10, now New England, we say the memories of January 6 still remain vivid and etched into my soul. The sound of gunfire, the smell of burning flesh, and the sight of lifeless bodies still haunts me. January 6 was more than just a day of error.
And this other one they say, government really need for do the thing them way, them for do may want to come again, more especially them for make sure say they work with the Human Rights Commission and other people for implement some thing them with inside the TRC report.
This one from Hassan Bangra say, Mr. Minister, government don't repeal the criminal libel law, but government still allow freedom of expression by enacting the Cybercrime Act.
And the last one they read there, they say we come out from Super Caps for our Facebook page. They say plenty of the thing them where be happen during the rebel war still they happen na the country. Government really need for put things in place. May we not go back to the dark days because it really not be easy. Well, that's some of the text messages there, and that's we don't come inside the program. Where they come over to you, Dr. Julius Spencer, as you don't listen to some of the messages then.
Well, one asked me directly, but freedom of expression. The fact remains that it don't improve, no doubt about that. As the minister say, and me if I maybe matter go na Supreme Court for this criminal libel, for let them repeal the criminal libel law. They never call the matter say for hearing until President Bill the government repeal them. So yes, things don't change. But myself get concerned about the cybercrime law. Then there I think say Boku people don't raise issue around them. We don't pull one, they will seem forget other one now, where then they use similar to how them and they use the criminal libel law. I've been rather surprised where you say then charge some young lady for insulting the president and first lady. Then they remand her in custody. Yes, if he may not know some of the law, but insulting somebody. So if na me them insult, then go arrest the person self and charge them and remand them. I wonder. I think say a lot of the time the one that were responsible, not to even president or anybody in our government go tell them say do this. I think say at times you can get what you call overzealousness. They want for please. So then they do things the way sometimes the person even not even aware say then they do that day. So me go urge that them very careful how then they use them law then they, because everybody for aware power very transient, a temporary business. It's like how we get power, whether you're a policeman or whether you're a lawyer or you're a judge or whatever you be, you tend to come where you not go today. And if you don't implement in the way they other people them, the same thing will happen to you back. Okay. So me think say yes, things they don't improve, but we still get something that we will need for look back.
Okay, plenty thank you for joining the program. In name na Dr. Julius Spencer, na the first Minister of Information under Pakaba, and safe na be the minister we been there during the 1999 war where the rebel became free tongue. Plenty thank you for share your experience with Salon people. Let me come over to you, Chernor, as they round up the program. Maybe listen to some of the messages then.
I think we get for fight for peace. And want peace as much as people we want war. And part of how they show and demonstrate say we want peace now, we commitment to this democracy, to the freedom, to an open society, for whole government accountable, and for raising questions the way citizens in the race. So President Bill don't show in commitment again on this criminal libel and open the space. You see what the ministry they try for do for open and create a debate. People then get the right for disagree with we. But let we do that there as well, as we fight for that peace in a way that will not bring each other down and not bring the country down. We find a way for balance, that open democratic debate. Anybody will know me, for example, knows say I love a good debate. I want you can argue, low debates on this safe motherhood bill. I believe 100% we there on the right side. I believe that. I believe say we position is right. I believe it will save lives. I believe now the right thing where a government supposed to do. But I also know say not to make it all the facts. Other people then believe different. But we can have a debate. Now then they make this a functional democracy. Let the debates be based on the truth. Let it be based on what we say, we stand by what we say. Let it be based on respect for each other. And let it never pull down the other person because we disagree with them. Now then they the values them. We go stop for more, no go back to January 6, and we'll continue to move this country forward. Okay,
plenty. Thank you for joining the program. Chernor, in the Minister of Information and Civic Education. Plenty. Thank you for joining the program. And Victor Lansana, Vice Chairperson Human Rights. As you don't talk about different things, you don't listen to some of the messages them, and you talk about some of the recommendations them where government gets for do with the constitutional review. So you go round up with that.
Yes, thank you very much. Then text messages and then just evidence of the fact that we don't move on as a country. We get people. Today we forget public programs like this, and Sierra Leoneans that they contribute, they have interest. So it's part of participation in governance. At the end up with the constitutional review process, we have been already beginning for talks. Government need for fast track because as it is now, the winner takes all. They make a lot of tension. What we lack in this country now, what we call nationhood. And accepting that a government in power is for all of us. If we get a constitution where they cater, for instance, for national unity, we go take people from other political parties for include them in governance, that will make people get ownership over government. But then I will also add that people need for understand say government yes get obligation under section 5 of the constitution for make sure say the welfare and the security of this country then protect them as a government. But the same constitution, one of the biggest law, the supreme law of this country, section 13, it make provision for what we call duties of a citizen. Every citizen gets the responsibility for be patriotic, for be nationalistic, for ensure say they provide assistance to law enforcement officers them, for maintain law and order and the different communities them. So we need to understand as a country, as a people, government and citizens, say we all get equal obligations. Government yes gets the upper hand, they get the luxury, they get the privileges, so they need for take the lead. But at the same time, citizens also need to understand say the constitution place obligation, it place duties them on them. For me make sure say we all enjoy this country, we all contribute towards democracy and towards peace and also towards, of course, human rights.
Okay.
It is only when we do that we'll be able to get a better country, we'll be able to accelerate to progress as a country.
In name now Victor Lanson, Vice Chair for the Human Rights Commission. Plenty thank you for you be part of the program today.